We grow up telling children to be kind, share, be gentle, and don't hurt others. And then we grow up, turn on the TV, and people collide at each other with full force. And we cheer. No one questions it. And that contradiction tells us something very important about how society actually works. We rarely stop and ask, what are we cheering for? Let's be honest about what football actually is. It's controlled aggression, almost indistinguishable visually from violence. Two sides, clear rules, and one objective. Nobody accidentally ends up on that field. They train for years, they sign contracts, they consent to the impact. And no one expects a linebacker to stop midway and ask, hey bud, are you okay? That would be absurd, because everyone understands the arena. And when two people hit each other at full force, no one panics. It's not chaos, it's actually something else. And no one ever questions what that something else actually is. The moment that same intensity exists outside the arena, it disturbs social order in a very specific way. Not necessarily because it's more harmful. This is where the thinking goes wrong. We talk about kindness like it's a universal value, like it should apply everywhere, in every situation. Kindness is powerful in cooperation, in friendships, relationships, schools, the community. But competition doesn't run on kindness. Competition runs on clarity, decisiveness, boundaries, and force within context. No one asks a football player, could you be gentle midway? And on the surface, it sounds right. That same action that could be praised in one environment could be questioned in the other. And that creates a problem that most people just don't notice. And this doesn't just stay on the football fields. People carry this into real life, into businesses, into careers, into negotiations, into real life business decisions. They're told, be agreeable, be accommodating, and be kind. And then they're dropped into environments that tell them nothing and say, figure it out. When it doesn't work, they assume something's wrong with them. But nothing is wrong. They did what they were taught, and they follow the rules that they thought applied. And when the outcome doesn't match all the effort, they assume that it's very personal. And that's where the damage quietly begins. People start holding back. People hesitate. They second-guess decisions that used to feel heavy. They become quieter in spaces that reward certainty. They watch others move faster, speak louder, take up more space, and they start assigning meaning to that difference. The story changes, not outward, but inward. Maybe I wasn't meant for this. Maybe something's wrong with me. They don't realize the environment hasn't changed. They've adapted to it. This is why sports feel different. Nothing is ambiguous. Everyone knows the rules before anything begins. No one mistakes the field for a place of negotiation. No one expects gentleness where force is required. You don't explain yourself midway. You don't soften yourself to be understood. You act. And when the whistle blows, everything stops. The force ends, the roles disappear, the behavior no longer applies. The environment is only temporary. And that's what most people miss. So when you watch football, what are you actually cheering for? Football teaches us how to win against other people, but life isn't played on a field. There's no scoreboard for calm, no trophy for self-control, no one cheering when you don't react. And yet, that's where most people actually lose. That's the difference most people miss. Not strength, not aggression, not intention, but context. Rules don't eliminate force. They decide where it belongs. They turn raw intensity into something predictable, something bounded, something temporary. That's why the same action is praised here, but condemned over there. And admitting this specific reality forces us to think instead of react. Most people don't lose because someone beat them. They lose because they were trained to look outward instead of looking inside themselves. We don't cheer because it's violent. We cheer because it fits the arena, because it has limits, because it has rules, because it ends. All predictable. Different arenas, different rules, different expectations. Think about that the next time you turn it on.